Okay. Now, there is one afternoon session and one tomorrow morning session on a very important topic. What is that? Gunas. Gunas are important because they are the expression of goddess Maya on earth. On earth, meaning in the created universe. And that creation includes the body, which is not a problem, the mind, which is a problem, and the senses, which are a problem. Okay? So, I don't know what that the name I gave these talks, overcoming the
Mastering.
Mastering, even better. Yeah. Mastering the gunas or mastering the influence of the gunas. Yeah. So you see where this is headed. This is a Vedanta teacher making a pitch so that you attend this afternoon session. Well, when I first knew I would be here, I sent a letter to all of you saying, what do you want? How can I best serve? Because, I don't want to impose and put too many classes, and I don't know how many, it's too many. And so everybody said, we want classes, we want classes, we want classes. But I think this weekend people have things to do, places to go, people to see. And if this weekend is not good, there are many possibilities. So first, before I comment on the possibilities or before we entertain the possibilities, let us have a show of hands among the people gathered here and online. How many people are coming at 4 o'clock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, so if this is not good, I was going to say we just cancel this evening session, have the session tomorrow morning again, and then continue with that topic. Hello. Continue with that topic when? In December. And then what about discovering Shraddha? That we can discover later. What is there in Shraddha? Nothing. So that's a possibility. Yes? No? Maybe?
No.
Okay. So we'll do it now. All right. Yeah. So then that's fine. So we'll do it now. Yeah, don't sit there because I won't be able to see you. Drag the chair this side if you want. Yeah, it has wheels just for you. Come this side all the way. There we go. Nice flowers. Beautiful. Very nice. Awesome. Bring it here then. Oh,
Reminding me of you.
wonderful. Yeah. Bring it right here. So beautiful. Gorgeous. Awesome. Thank you. Now, of course, people online want to see them. There you go. You can't say anything without showing. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Now, this is not a Guna class. What is this class? Bodhasara. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We stopped at a very interesting juncture. And what was that juncture? The person asking, like let's say, if it's a dialogue in this, the student asking, how come the desire for knowledge is born? Not desire for knowledge, sorry, desire for moksha. How does the birth of the desire for moksha take place? Is it a natural birth? Water birth, C-section, meaning forcibly it has to be taken out. How is the desire for moksha born, given a few things? Okay, yeah, here, does everybody know where we are?
Verse 48.
Page 170.
Yeah, page 174, and in the section on the on this whole thing, 174, 175. So we have finished. So 14. Actually, we are 14. Yeah, we should start with 1416, but just a little introduction, because many people don't take it online and whatnot. Yeah, afternoon class is there. Yes. It's not off. Yeah, let's not create any more confusion. Yeah, afternoon class is there. So now the question was very interesting. How is the desire for moksha born, given that moksha is not an object? You can only desire something that is away from you. Moksha is not away from you. So who is the desirer? You. What is the object of desire? You. So, this doesn't make sense. How is the moksha desire born, given two facts? One is it's not an object. And second is, who is the person desiring moksha? Not the one who knows I am mukta, correct? Yeah. Don't ask who is mukta. Mukta means free. Yeah. So, not the one who is free doesn't ask, how can I be free? Correct? So, who asks? The unfree one. Yeah. Show some signs of life. What is this? Who asks? The unfree one asks. And what does the unfree one ask? How can I become free? So, if you are unfree, to know that you are unfree, you need some context. And what is that context? You are surrounded by a nice ashram, lush trees, teacher teaching, cows moving, and deer gamboling in the sunset. All these things. Then in those kinds of circumstances, the desire for to be free arises. That because you're surrounded by that kind of suggestions. And now we're not talking of that kind of a person, because the person who's already, taken a plane or train to a Gurukulam is not the one who's being discussed here. This is the person who's not in labor pains giving birth to moksha, who is not yet, having that desire in. And so where is that? What is the person's surroundings? Samsara. And so the person has no samskara for moksha. Samskara means any kind of imprint. No gurus or teachers are visiting the house. No moksha is not being talked at the dinner table. And what else? So the samskaras are what? Samsara samskara-vatam. So for the person whose only samskaras are samsara. Samsara is the samskara for whom? Samsara samskara-van. That is the meaning. Vatam, for them, for the people who are dipped in samsara, like the fruit dipped in chocolate. Nowadays you get all kinds of things. You can dip anything in chocolate. Yeah. So for the person dipped in what? Not chocolate here. Samsara. Like chocolate, it is addictive and clingy. What? Samsara. Okay? What is addictive and clingy? Samsara. So for the one who is surrounded by samsara, how can this desire for moksha be born? So he gives three explanations, very sound explanations. So the first one he says is that there is the paripakvata. Paripakvata means the ripening or the cooking of raw macrobiotic punya sitting there. Yeah, raw punya is sitting, and then suddenly the fire of Bhagavan's grace cooks the punya, and you get the whiff of moksha. Yes. Aha, where is the smell coming from? Let me follow it. Like even when something wonderful is being cooked, you just follow the smell. Yeah, like a doggy, without looking here, you just follow the smell. So this moksha hound, so too, connects with the uncooked karma from the past life, which due to certain, the quickening and the warm grace of the drishti of Bhagavan, cooks the karma and cooks the previous punya, and then one just has to follow the scent, and the scent leads to Gurukulam, and then you find that it wasn't food at all that you were after. It was a different kind of food. Yeah. Food for the soul, S-O-L-E, the soul person who is now having this quest. So this is what the whole thing is. Or you can say paripakataya means through pach to cook, pach also to ripen, which is a different kind of a cooking. So you're standing under a tree of samsara tree, where a few fruits of your punya are hanging, okay? And they ripen and they fall on the head. And when they fall on the head, they render one momentarily unconscious to samsara. Yeah, tweet. One sees some birdies, and the birdies are the birdies from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya birdies, and what are the birdies saying? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So that's how moksha is born. So the first reason he gives is because of the ripening of Purva Punya. And where did this Purva Punya come from? Accidentally in the last life, the person had gone river rafting on the Ganga. Did not have any sanctity for the Ganga, did not think that, okay, I'm going to sit here and bathe off all my papas or any of the other things or do some tapas and sadhana. No. But still, since the Ganga, he also fell, he or she, he means jiva. Jiva, that in the last life, the jiva fell into the water and, and then what happened? Because of the purifying effect of the Ganga, so there was some accidental sadhana because the jiva had to swim, back to safety. Pun intended here, swimming in samsara and accidentally a few sadhanas, and so the punya ripens, and then one suddenly is reminded, this is the cause of my birth. What am I doing? It becomes like a wake-up call. So that was one of the reasons, very nicely given here. And I'm just, what I'm saying, recalling what was said in the past. And then the other reason he gives is that, there is bhakti. Because moksha is one of the three M's of M and M and M in the Hindu Shastra. Yeah, 3 M's. Moksha, first M, Manushya Janma. Sorry, first M, Manushya Janma. Manushya Janma means human birth, first M. But there is no M in human. Human, H-U-M. Yeah, that M. Okay? So, yeah. So, first M is human birth. Human birth. That is itself a result of a lot of miracles. And that does not come, and miracle here means Bhagavan's grace. Okay? Then the second M is desire for moksha. But desire for moksha begins with a D. Yeah, but in Sanskrit it begins with M. Moksha. Yeah, 2 M's. Mu. Yeah. So desire for moksha, second M, also gained due to the Lord's grace, Bhagavan's grace. And what's the third M? Moksha, desire for moksha are one and the same. What is the third M?
Guru.
Guru Upasadanam, or the Guru manifesting somewhere, somehow, even as a possibility. And the Guru manifests as a possibility when when all your own karma are useless. Then only you think of help. Otherwise, it's just self-help rules. I want to do it myself. Ever since a 2-year-old child, and what does the 2-year-old child, mother or the father says, let me help you to put the shoes on. No! Myself. They may not even be able to say the whole sentence, I am going to do it myself. No, me, myself. Okay, take. And then what? One shoe is in one hand and the wrong shoe is on the wrong foot. Yeah. And then this is how it is. So that ahankara is born, even before the birth of this body. Even before the birth of this body, there is an ahankara in the womb. And how do we know that? We know that through stories like Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra was born almost enlightened. He had some shishta prarabdha, remaining prarabdha from previous births. That's why he had to be born again. But he knew everything. He knew Vedanta. And when she was carrying him, the mother went to a guru because she was very interested in all these things. And that guru also was fond of giving instant Vedanta quizzes. Yeah, like me. And so the guru would teach a few things and then ask the mother a question just to see if she had understood. And the mother must not have been terribly bright because she gave wrong answer. How many times? 8 times. Not once, not twice, not thrice, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, not 7 times, but 8 times. And the child knew the correct answer. And the child kicked the mother furiously. Dumbo, mama, here. This is not the right answer. But still, she just thought, oh, how cute baby is kicking. And she continued giving the wrong answers. She didn't understand that the baby was desperately trying to communicate with her. So each time she gave the wrong answer, almost, because he already knew, he cringed at the wrong answer. Before the bones were properly developed, the bones were soft, everything was soft. And so he was born with 8 defects in the bones in his body. So you know that the ahankara is already there. It's already there. The personality of the baby is already being formed. And so here, so the desire for guru comes when the ahankara decides to take the back seat, not as a back seat driver, but as someone like Arjuna who sits back, relaxes, and learns to enjoy the ride. Yeah. So the third M is the most difficult. That's why it's in this order. Human birth, then what else? Desire to be free, knowing that this samsara is not all that there is here for which I am born. And finally, to do something about it, taking the aid of someone other than yourself is the third M. So these 3 M's, are slowly, slowly fructify after many births. Many first M births. Human being gone, human being gone, human being another wasted life, human being yet one more wasted life. Human being, what did you accomplish this time? Well, nothing. And nothing. After many births of nothing, human being with a desire for moksha, 2 M's, M and M. Oh, wonderful. After so many, just 1 M, 2 M's. So desire for moksha came. What did you do? Well, I decided to do rock climbing. Why? Because I wanted to feel free. I wanted to go. What did you do next life? Monkey cord jumping. Why? Because I wanted to have that free feeling. Many ways in which the moksha is confused for something. So birth number 3, what did you do? I disowned my parents and I had a divorce. I disowned everybody connected to me. Why? Because I wanted to be free of all relationships. Wrong. And so like this, after many lifetimes of 2 M's, finally the third M comes. Which is what? the desire for Guru, desire for this. So how do these three M's come? It's because you have been a bhakta in some of these lives. And even though the bhakti was for bhukti, bhakti, bhukti, what is this? Bhukti, and don't quote me, well, you can quote me on this. Bhukti is the opposite of mukti. Bhukti means time-bound gains. Games, yeah. So, time-bound games and gains. Everything that is gained in time is ... lost when? In time. Yeah. So, what to do now? Pray for another life. That's all it is, human life. And so, this somehow, at some point, the person had said in some life, free me of samsara. Oh Lord, that's all I want is you. I don't want what you can give. What the Lord can give is called bhukti. Asking for the Lord as the truth of oneself is mukti. Understand the difference? Very big difference. Moksha, timelessness. You can't ask for timelessness as an object. So really it means learning, studying about yourself, getting rid of Atma Ajnanam. Okay? So this is how the desire for moksha is born. So the first reason was Purva Punya. Second reason was given not in that order, Bhakti, because of certain. And how did the Purva Punya come? Bhakti. Because there had been Bhakti and Puja done in previous lives. Actually, that should be first. And I think that's how he treats it. First is Bhakti, right? Yeah. And then second is, all the Purva Punyas rectifying. And what is the third one?
Mahapurusha Sangha.
Yeah, no, what does he give? Yeah, Mahapurusha. How does he say it? He says, hanging out with knowledgeable ones, serving the knowledgeable ones. Yeah. Vidushaha means the one who knows, not, not how to put together something bought from IKEA. IKEA? Yeah. Yeah, because that is itself a big feat. Because it's all in Swedish or something. The instructions. Sometimes there are no instructions. They have full shraddha that whatever you buy will be, it looks nice when you go to the shop. And then when you bring it home, it's just pieces of wood. Yeah. Yeah. No diagram. A diagram is there, but no, nothing to which should come first, nothing. So, unlike that, here you hang out with Vidusha, not the Vidusha who knows how to put together something that comes without instructions, but someone who knows that the self is not something that is put together. That is the one. Someone who knows that the Atma is beyond assemblage, does not require to be assembled, is not, partite, is not subject to falling apart. And so, being in their company, serving them whenever one can, one understands this and has the desire for moksha. This is where we had stopped. Now, everybody is brought up to date. Everybody is happy. Yeah, because I did not start on 16. Yeah. So then he says, Taduktam. He's giving two examples from the Shruti and rather Smritis, two Smritis. And he's giving two examples. And you can take Gita as Shruti. The first one is from the Bhagavad Gita, the opening chapter of this third, which is chapter 7. And then he likes to quote from this Yoga Vasishtha, which really is a very intimidating work, and very intimidating in many ways, extremely intimidating work. And so he quotes from the Yoga Vasishtha and from the Bhagavad Gita, both of them, to show how this moksha, when the desire for moksha comes, do not while it away. This is what is said in the Shruti, Smriti, Puranas, everything. So the first one is just verbatim. from the Bhagavad Gita. Manushyanam sahasreshu
Manushyanam sahasreshu
kaschidhyatati siddhaye
kaschidhyatati siddhaye
yatataamapi siddhanam
yatataamapi siddhanam
kaschinmam vetti tatpataha.
kaschinam vedi tatpataha.
Yeah. So it's it's the 7th chapter, first verse, where Arjuna is told by the Lord. What is he told? Manushyanam sahasreshu. Sahasreshu means among millions, thousands. After 1,000 you don't count. So among millions. Kaschit means singular. One. Someone. Kaschit literally means someone. Yatati means makes an effort. Siddhaye. Siddhi here means success. What is the best form of success? Moksha. Yeah. Any question I ask, the answer today is
Moksha.
Even in spite of giving the answer, still there is time sometimes when I ask the question. So, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, among thousands of the first Manushyas, we have got accidentally a human birth because passed by the temple and did like this, finished. That too from the car, from a moving vehicle. Vehicle crashed and the person died, and the next birth human being, because that last namaskara was greeted, acknowledged, and immediately fructified into a human birth. Antakale pimam spiritva, even in the last minute, if you think of me, you get a human birth. Chapter 8. But we are not looking at chapter 8. Come back to chapter 7. Okay. So, Manushyanam sahasreshu, out of the thousands and millions of people who are there, who have get crashed into a human life with a last namaskara, like those kinds of situations, a kind word, a compassionate act at the end, somehow, even though, this person was so territorial, he was going to be born a dog. He means jiva, okay? You can say take he or she. She was going to be born as a dog. See, that's why, sometimes it's awkward because she was going to be born as a dog, he, she. So he here means masculine word jiva. So this jiva was going to be born as a dog. And then what? And then suddenly karma intervened, did something wonderful. So the territoriality of that human being in the past life did not fructify into dog birth, but instead into a birth that was there for moksha. So a lot of people in the world have got the human birth with great difficulty. Arjuna is told by the Lord. And then what? Out of these millions of people with a human birth, one person desires for siddhi. Siddhi means, siddhi for those who use their buddhi is moksha. Moksha. Moksha is the siddhi here. So siddhi means the ultimate aim or the goal to be gained in this life. That is what it is. And what is the ultimate gain? The ultimate gain is to know that one is not a wanting, desiring person. The desiring person is removed from the cognition of oneself, and one recognizes oneself as free of wants because one is everything and therefore one has everything, and so there's no need to have any desire. All the purusharthas come to an end. This much, the one who recognizes is a mumukshu, or the one who gains this is a siddha. So then, in the first instance, what is there? The yatata, kaschit yatati siddhaye. Out of millions of manushyas, one becomes a mumukshu. This is a sobering thought, right? That's why it is not there in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Because if the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita was like this, let's say it started with Manushyanam Sahasreshu Chidyatati Siddhaye, nobody would read the second chapter. Nobody would finish the first chapter. Yeah. That's why the first chapter is something which everybody can associate with and understand, because it begins on a note of tears and fears. Thank God. Yeah. Arjuna is crying, yippee. I'm also crying. So this is how, yeah. So the Lord Krishna hooks you in for the first 6 chapters. And when you become a Gita-holic, then the 7th chapter starts with a bombshell. And what is the bombshell? That let us look at some statistics. Statistics are always sobering. Yeah. Yeah. Statistics are always sobering. So, like you look at any statistics. How many people don't have health care? That's a very sobering statistic. How many people are dying when they don't have to die? Sobering statistics. And how many people have this disease that can be easily prevented if money went for research? Another sobering statistic. And so like this, the statistics of how many people work for moksha, Bhagavan has kept this statistic. So it has to be accurate. It's not the Pew Research or Gallup Research or something. It's not some company that has been outsourced. It is the source itself. There is no outsourcing here. It's the source itself that is talking. And when the statistic comes from the source, it is, you have to sit up for it. And it's a sobering statistic, because how many people have human birth? How many human beings are there in the world? Come on, you can answer that. Don't say, exactly. Billions. 7 billion now? Yeah. So 7 billion people. Okay, we are not talking of other jivas waiting for human birth. These are actual people who have got human birth. And out of that, how many people are studying Vedanta? Sobering thought. Even in the whole world. Yeah. How many people are not studying Vedanta? Staggering thought. Yeah. And so, yatati siddhaya, yatati means the one that is working means studying here. Working to improve themselves, working for chitta shuddhi, working to gain a guru, and working towards gaining this knowledge, attending, classes. All these are signs of yatna, study, effort. So out of the millions of people in the world, one puts the effort towards moksha. First line. Okay. As though that was not enough. Second line goes further. Yatatam api siddhana. So here it's interesting, because Bhagavan Krishna looks at even the people making an effort to gain moksha as already mukta. It's like the person who is studying to become some big qualification, PhD, and then what? The person is already regarded as having a PhD after certain coursework and all is complete. ABD. What is ABD? Everything is done except the dissertation. Yeah, sometimes they don't even do the dissertation. Whole life ABD. Yeah. Yeah, all but dissertation. So they're as good as PhDs, correct? They go to all these bada conferences and they present papers, and then they critique other established scholars in the field, and then they feel good about themselves. When a small little hardly recognized journal publishes their paper, they feel very good. So they are already creeping into the ranks of the PhDs, so they are regarded as a PhD. Sometimes they're even given the chance to teach a class, in the university. So like this, here also, the person who is making an effort to be a siddha is given by Bhagavan a nice epithet. Siddhanam. Siddha, you are already siddha. Just because you are making an effort, you are already mukta. Very nice. Yeah, so you are no longer a mumukshu. If you are attending classes and working for chitta shuddhi, you are no longer a mumukshu. What are you? mukta. Ah. It's a balm on Arjuna's heart and on all our hearts. It's wonderful because I'm no longer a striving human being. Since I'm striving for the right thing, I have already gained it. And why have you already gained it? Because it's not other than yourself. It's already you. And also, the teaching is infallible, correct? And then because it is based not on the teacher's feelings about moksha, thank God. Because if it was based on an individual teacher's feeling about moksha, and let's say the teacher got off, the wrong side of the bed, fell down, and then sustained some injuries after falling off the bed, and then came to class limping. And then what said, oh, I don't feel like a Mukta Purusha today. Thankfully, it is not based on the teacher's feeling. What is the knowledge based on? It is based on the pramana. It is based on the operation of a means of knowledge that has nothing to do with the teacher and nothing to do with the taught. This is the fascinating part of the way in which knowledge is taught and assimilated. Because it doesn't matter. Even if the teacher is not a Brahmanistha, just a Shrotriya. Shrotriya means, the one who has listened to his or her teacher, but then doesn't really, still has a lot of unfinished business here and is not able to, fully enjoy the fruits of this vidya. Still, if that person teaches, it will still hit home. Why? Because it's not based on the person. If the person is true to themselves and they're just teaching what they learn, it will still go home because it is not based on the teacher. And it is not based on the personality of the student. It is just based on the handling of the pramana. And yes, definitely there is a difference in how the person who has assimilated the knowledge handles the pramana versus the person who has not. But still the pramana is one and the same. Pramana means the Veda handling the pramana means presenting the Upanishad as a means of knowledge. That's when it hits home, it strikes home, and it is understood. So anybody who is making an effort is already a siddha. Nice. So out of all the siddhas, first of all, out of every thousands, one person who is interested in the knowledge, and out of those people interested in the knowledge, kaschit mam vetti tattvataha, one person will know me or knows me entirely. So this is not, this mantra is not given to discourage the mumukshu. Mantra is given to encourage the mumukshu. This is not a call to go back to the house and close the book and say, what's the point? Yeah. This is a call to feel good about oneself because one is already a mukta, one is already a siddha, and to continue with the quest because now you all belong to an elite siddha club. See, I saved the best for the last. So this is what the whole thing is. And what to take from this is that this is a way in which the knowledge is made interesting to people who are perennially bored. And who is the bored person? Samsari. Very, very sorry. So next time you catch yourself saying, I'm bored, change that thought immediately. Because when you say, I'm bored, that means samsara has bored into you. Bored is not even an emotion. It's a state of mind which borders on apathy and hopelessness because you find nothing enchanting or entertaining. It's a state of disillusionment. Not quite fully hopelessness, but disillusionment, disenchantment. When one is routinized, what is this? Wake up, do this. More obsessive. Blah. That's a nice word. Blah. It has a visarga at the end. H. Ends in H. Yeah. So this blah blah feeling, that is what has to be, has to be looked at. Because, that means that samsara, you're having a samsaritis, samsara attack. That's when to turn to Vedanta. That's when to look at this. So, therefore, it is given, this is given to encourage the person to see that the person belongs to an exclusive club of Siddha wannabes. It's a Siddha wannabe club. It's a Mumukshu club. And why do we call it club? Because samsara is clubbed out. Yeah, that is why. And so this is the first verse he gives, because for this bored person, the knowledge is made interesting by verses like this. Because the person is bored, kya hoga? One more class, one more retreat, one more. Yeah. Nothing is happening. So to this blah blah person, this mantra is supposed to be like coffee. Yeah. When you drink coffee, what happens? Zing. Wake up. Because you are, the Upanishad understands that without the knowledge being made exciting and interesting, nobody will be interested. Nobody will come. Yeah. Nobody will come at all. In fact, people who used to attend Pujya Swamiji's classes, out of the Sahasreshu, out of the thousands, who attended Pujya Swamiji's classes in his lifetime. Some people, you ask them, why are you coming for this retreat? And I did ask them. And they would say, for the jokes. Very innocently they would say. Rest of it goes like a rocket over the head. First thing, baat samajh nahi aati hai, we don't understand. Second thing, it doesn't stay. Everything is crystal clear in the class. As soon as you come out and put your chappals on, it's gone. Yeah, you have left behind all the knowledge that you had gained in the class. Only you came out, the knowledge remained in the class. But what is remembered is what? Jokes. Yeah. In fact, one of the Swamis, Sakshat Swamiji, has compiled a book of Pujya Swamiji's jokes along with the context. Yeah, I'm encouraging him to publish it. So, during Pujya Swamiji's lifetime, he was asked that, look, this book is ready. Shall we publish it? He said no. But now, he said no because he thought that out of context it may not make much sense. But now I think it is fine to publish it. So this is what the whole thing. And we have this entire, Shastra made interesting so that the person is attracted. This is how this mantra or this verse here has to be understood. And Tatra Uktam, he's giving examples how this mumukshutvam is so rare and how it has to be capitalized and made use of. So this is from the Bhagavad Gita. The next one is from the Yoga Vasishtha. Another gory, example. Yoga Vasishtha is full of gory examples. Yeah, this is one of them. And the image here is of a sea turtle. There are such things. Huge. If you go to aquarium, you may see one of them. These are huge. Like how huge? To give you an idea, 4 or 5 people can easily sit on the back of each one. That big. Imagine how big. Easily. One whole family can sit and take a ride on this turtle. 4 or 5 people. Father, mother and 3 children, or 3 or 4 people can easily sit. It's big. huge, and the flippers and this so big. Itself so big. This sea turtle, unfortunately, this is the imagery, is caught in a tsunami, underwater tsunami, which is very bad. And then what happens? It struggles. It goes like this. It struggles. It can't breathe. It's just, horribly trapped. And then what happens? Suddenly, in a little bit of calm waters, it is able to come out and breathe. That is the example of this, desire for moksha. That is, how important it is. Okay, now let us see. So then when the neck of the turtle comes out, it is, it is finally breathing the air that it was struggling, with seaweed and all the water and everything, tsunami. And the neck of the turtle is equated to the birth of a Viveki. Who is Viveki? The one endowed with Viveka. What is Viveka? Discrimination. Discrimination between what and what? Nitya and Anitya. Yeah. What is Nitya? I. What is Anitya? Everything else. Not I. And so that is the thing, the one who, the discrimination between the finite and the infinite, and knowing the desire for the infinite as I, is Viveka. And so the head of the turtle coming out of the tsunami-ridden, undercurrent, water-driven, waters, comes out after a horrible sea storm. That is like a birth of a Viveki. So in other words, all the other birds are underwater, so to speak, not literally, because they have all these birthing technique now. That is not what we are talking about. Underwater means not even worth talking about, because it's not even made an appearance because if until the Viveki is born, what is the point of all the other birds? It's like a struggling turtle whose struggles are not even documented, because the struggling turtle is not writing a blog and saying this is how the struggle was. And even if it writes a blog, what is the point? Glub, 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 finished, gone. So when the struggling turtle comes out of the struggle victoriously, that signifies the birth of a mumukshu endowed with a desire of endowed with discrimination. Because to be born a mumukshu is useless, as we have seen. Yatatam api siddhanam kastit mam vetti tatvatah. So the mumuksha, the desire for freedom, is accompanied by a discrimination, an introspection, a capacity to self-reflect on one's life and all the useless things that one has been doing. So the amount of time the turtle was kept underwater by the tsunami or the waves, the horrible churning waves, shows the number is equal to it. So that's why I said it's a very difficult example to grasp. That's why I'm going to discuss it fully and then we'll read it. So the number of times let's say the turtle was underwater for several minutes, and they can hold their breath for a long time. So half an hour the turtle was underwater, struggling to come out, and half an hour later it came out. So the time spent underwater, that half an hour, is equal to many, many janmas of the jiva as a aviveki, as an indiscriminate person, as a person who just treated life, as a journey from womb to tomb without anything in between. That's why when you go to see go near the university, there is there is a graveyard, correct? It's near the university. Go visit the graveyard. What will you see? A very grave matter. What you will see is 1879 to 1952. What is in between? A big dash. 5 marriages, 16 grandchildren, so many degrees, so many pedigrees, all summarized by one dash, meaning it did not matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters here, and what matters is when the head came out. Ah. Out of the turbulent waters of samsara, born into the turbulent waters of samsara, a new meaning to water birth. Born in the turbulent waters of samsara, one succumbs to it. When, not now, because you're here. Life after life after life after life, glub, 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 dies away. What does one accomplish? Nothing, even if one is a huge, brilliant scientist. What's the point if you haven't been able to touch God with that brilliant mind? You've not been able to contemplate, not a single contemplation, not a single thought has been reflected in the mind. What is the source of this universe? Who am I? Nothing. Glub, 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 struggle, struggle, struggle. One has succumbed to the struggle. But because of certain Purva Punya, again, the neck comes out. Yeah, one sticks out one's neck as a Viveki. See, the imagery is rife with lot of possibilities. One sticks out one's neck. In other words, being a Viveki, sticking out one's neck means what? Proverbially. Going out of the way, correct? And a little bit of danger is involved here. You don't know what's going to happen. You stick out one sticks out one's neck and becomes a Viveki. One takes that extra courage, one takes that step to flaunt one's Viveka because one knows it's the right thing to do. Even though the whole world is struggling in the tsunami of samsara and the teaching there, because samsara also has a teaching. What is the teaching? Give up, give up, give up. Glub, 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 glub. That is the teaching. What's the point? This is all that is possible. Just pray for death and pray for a little holiday out in the form of heaven. Yeah. Holiday in, holiday out. That's all it is. So pray for little holiday in terms of heaven, and then there no glub glub, no glub glub, and 2 seconds later, because only little bit of punya, and then comes back, glub glub, glub glub, and that is why the person is bored and apathetic. And coming into the Vedanta class, that same boredom samskara, that apathy samskara goes on, rehearsing itself like a broken record. You have to stop using that expression soon. Nobody knows even what a record is. Yeah, like a scratch CD. And that also will go now because everything is on a stick. So, this is the beauty of this metaphor, is that finally one is brave enough to stick one's neck out in the face of the wrong message of samsara. You are permanently bored, you are permanently boring, you cannot achieve anything, you will not even count, you will not come out of this. This is the message of samsara, if samsara has a message. And the one who is able to fight that and come out is the Viveki. And that has accomplished after many, many, many lifetimes of struggling, succumbing, and then finally coming out. So this is the meaning of the verse. Let us look at this. Chalarnavayugachidra. No. Chalarnavayugachidra. Kurmagriva praveshavat. Aneka janmanamante. Viveki jayate puman. So Chalarnava Yuga Chitra. So, Chidra means torn asunder. Chalarnava Yuga, because of the Chala means the motion, the ceaseless motion of what? Arnava, a kind of a restless sea. So a sea that has some kind of a tsunami, some horrible sea storm, tsunami, horrible waves crashing. A disturbed ocean is Chalarnava Yuga. So, and what happens to the sea creature called sea turtle? It's a sight to see because it is Chidra, torn asunder. Its fins have fins or whatever it has. Its fins have developed cracks. Poor thing may be bleeding. Poor thing is just all upset. Maybe it's temporarily, divested of its shell, made vulnerable. And then what is not talked about here, but we have to supply and fill in the blanks, is that after the struggle, the kurma is the turtle. Kurma griva neck, praveshavat, like the neck comes out of the water. You can imagine this little neck sticking out of the tsunami waters after many hours of struggle, minutes of struggle. And then you feel like cheering with it. Way to go! Yay! Clap, clap, clap. Sometimes when there is a beached whale and then everybody, puts a little rope, big rope underneath it and turns it around, and then finally it by that time it has stopped flapping around because it has given up. It will not go into the ocean and it will not be reunited. It feels it's just ready to die. Then it sees other people helping. Then it says, oh, maybe I should make a little effort. And then it makes an effort and then it enters the ocean. And then takes a deep breath and then enters the ocean. And then sprays to thank everybody. It was a nice spray. And then, everybody claps. Yay, you made it, you made it. So like this, that neck, just think of that neck sticking out after this horrible, tsunami, a horrible sea storm, horrible things, It's like that movie, what is that? I saw that movie. It's, that Life of Pi. You remember the sea storm there? Yeah, like that. Even the tiger survives. So, and until then you hate the tiger. After that you say, oh, you made it. Good boy. Yeah, I saw it on one of the many trips to India on the plane. And so, so this is the thing. So you rejoice. This is a moment of rejoicing because after being put down by these waves, finally the person has, not the person here, the creature has come out. Successful, valiant, victorious. And then this is what is called Drishtanta, imagery. Now the next line provides the Darshtanta. Darshtanta means what is exemplified. So similarly, Yadvat, Praveshavat, Yadvat, Tadvat, just so, in the same manner, what Aneka means not Eka, not one. Aneka means not one. This is a very nice way of saying many, thousands of births later. Aneka Janmanam Ante, at the end of several thousand births, what happens? Viveki Jayate Puman. So, Puman, the person, what happens? Puman is human, yeah, except Human, not Human. So, the person, Jayate, is born Viveki. Clap, clap, clap. Yippee! I am finally a Viveki. Very nice. So, not much else to say. It's a very nice metaphor. Complicated but nice. So, imagine the struggle of this grand creature called the sea turtle inside the tsunami waters. Finally, the head is out. Similarly, this grand creature called Puman, Puman means what? Human, human. And So this human, also struggles for what? Viveka, mumukshutvam. Also struggles because he's always put down by samsara. And then finally comes out, clap, clap, clap. This is a moment of reckoning. And when shall this reckoning take place? After the break. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, so next one. He's very clever. This. Who wrote this? Narahari. Very, very clever. The segues are just amazing, seamless and tricky. Both. Because consider this, because he talks about the struggle. Struggle means what? Action. Correct. And then in Vedanta, what are we talking about? Action or inaction? Inaction. Inaction. Akarta, abhokta. Because samsara is full of action. And the Vedanta thing says, I don't do anything. I just open the window and look for bhiksha. Nothing else. If there is an action, that's the only action. Or kuch action nahi hai. Because, the viveki, viveki means the one who has viveka, the one who is endowed with viveka. What is endowed with viveka? Is the body endowed with viveka? Say no quickly. No. Yeah. Is the mind endowed with viveka?
No.
You're wrong. Yeah. Because if you say the mind is not endowed with viveka, kidhar jayenge? So, is the body, okay, let's go through this again. Okay, is the body endowed with viveka? No. Is the mind endowed with viveka? Yes. Okay, so the mind is the one endowed with viveka. So the one who has the mind endowed with viveka, the one who is the wielder of the mind here is ahankara, correct? Yeah. So even to the person who said the mind is not endowed with viveka, I have an again. We can go one step further. Ahankara endowed with viveka. See, you are also right in your own way. So ahankara is endowed with viveka. So the ahankara that's endowed with viveka, we are talking of ahankara here. Ahankara means ego, I notion. So the I notion gets endowed with viveka, with a mind that is endowed with viveka, starts to take on the dharma of the mind. What is the dharma of the mind? Attributes of the mind, and say aham viveki. Correct? Previously aham samsari. Right? I am a sad turtle in the tsunami of samsara. And now the head is out. So along with that comes a certain association or an identification, a tadatmya with the viveka. Tadatmya means identification with the viveka. So now a new title of the person is born. I am a viveki. And then the viveki goes in search of the teacher. I am a shishya. And the shishya studies Vedanta. So from viveki to Vedanti. Correct? Yeah, there is a certain trajectory. And that's where the mind goes. And whenever there is identification, there is either, whenever there is an identification with something, there is either pride or wretchedness. Only two emotions. If you identify as a loser, I feel terrible, I'm a loser. And here I'm what? Viveki. One wing comes out. And then I'm Vedanti, another wing comes out. And therefore what? Be gone, get thee behind me, samsara. And then what? You know, why? Because I'm beyond you. I'm not into all this. I'm a Viveki. Then you go on, you know, you know a few more qualifications. I'm a Vairagi, I'm a Viveki, I'm not a Samsari, and all this turbulence, it doesn't affect me, says the person who is on the plane. And and then as soon as they say, put the seat belt on, there is turbulence and the plane, drops down a few feet, catches hold of the person sitting next to him. Yeah. The one who is above all turbulence. So this is the state of mind where the mind is identifying now not as a samsari but as a viveki, and then further as you go further you say, I'm a Vedantin, I have nothing to do with samsara, this is your struggle, and I am now what? Beyond action. Yeah. Akarta aham. And you know what? The knowledge of akartritvam, if it precedes the assimilation of the knowledge of Vedanta, can only brew trouble, not coffee. Yeah. Yeah. It is offy. It offs all the chances of this gaining this knowledge. But this, what Pujya Swamiji very effectively called enlightenment ahankara or pre-enlightenment ahankara is something to be reckoned with and something that has to be addressed. And here he's addressing it in a very nice segue, and I don't want to give it away, so let us enjoy the verse by chanting it and then we will talk about it. Sopastinam karmanam tu
Sopastinam karmanam tu
Chitta shuddhif phalam matam
Chitta shuddhi phalam matam
Vedanecha vedanam va
Vedanecha vedanam va
Chitra satkarmanam gatihi
Chitra satkarmanam gatihi
Vedantairapi jignaso
Vedantairapi jignaso
Tasmat karmorari kritam
Tasmat karmorari kritam
Shraddha chittasya shantischa
Shraddha chittasya shantischa
Dantischo paramastatha
Dantischo paramastata
Mumuksha sadhananam hi
Mumuksha sadhanam hi
Sampat prathama bhumika.
Sampat prathama bhumika.
Yeah, so he says that don't think that just because you are a Viveki and you came out of glub glub, that you can say bye-bye to action. You just have to refurbish the purpose of the action. No, don't throw away, what is that called? Baby, along with the water from the bath, because the action itself is reimagined and redone from the standpoint of gaining a certain clarity and preparedness so that the knowledge assimilates. Clarity here means chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi means all the things I don't want to do. And if you make a list, we'll be here all day. Yeah. If you make a list of what you want to do, that will also be infinite, but it will be smaller than the list of what one doesn't ever want to do. What do you not want to do? Oh my God, don't get me started. And in short, if you say in one sentence, can you tell me what is it that you don't want to do? The person will say, all the things I have to do, I don't want to do. Short version. Short version is what? All the things I don't want to do, want to do is equal to all the things I have to do. There is no other way of not doing them. I have to do. And that is what I don't want to do. Correct? This is not a viveki, cautions Narahari here. This is not the lakshana of a viveki. This is not the lakshana. Lakshana means the characteristics of a mumukshu either. Then what is this? This is still a samsari. A samsari who is full of want and don't want. In other words, raga and dvesha. Dvesha is also another form of raga here. Yeah. Because I don't want to do. What do you not want to do? I don't want to get up. Why? Because I have to get up. And then what? I don't want to brush teeth. Why? Because I don't feel like it. Every day, same thing. Why? I don't want to go to work. Why? Because why should I go to work? I went yesterday. Why should I go today? I don't feel like it. I don't want to take care of the children. Why? Because, they're boring. Been there, done that. And what else? I don't want to do everything that I have to do. I don't want to do. I don't want to cook. Why? Because there are restaurants. I don't want to clean. Why? Because I don't feel like it. And I don't want to do anything because what's the point? Somebody asked me, what's the point of using plates? Because you have to wash, wipe, keep. And then you wash, wipe, eat. And then you wash, wipe, keep. Then why wash? Eat out of your hands. Who eats out of the hand? Sannyasis eat out of the hand like that. Panidvaye bhokto amantrayantaha, says the Yati Panchakam. And Jain monks, they don't have plate, nothing. And they're not supposed to waste any food. So, and they eat 2 or 3 handfuls like this. So the people will be Digambar Jains. Standing there, such an amazing sight. I have seen this. So he will be standing there, unclothed, fully, no clothes, standing there, not it's just amazing, not a shred of pride or shame. The person stands there, receiving the food and eating, and won't ask for the next handful until it is so clean, it is completely cleaned off. Not a single morsel is to be wasted. And so, you become like that if you don't want to wash plates, Because that also the same argument for clothes. Why wash clothes? Don't wear them. Just become a Digambar Jain monk. Yeah. Pujya Swamiji sent me to invite this very, wonderful person. And I was apprehensive. How am I going to go? This is Digambar monk. And Swamiji has his own way of sending people to gain certain, understanding and everything. It was just a wonderful experience. And he said, he was sitting there, not at all conscious of his body. It was just it was just so eye-opening. I was deeply humbled, sitting next to this Mahatma. He was very risky, and then he said, I have to eat because it is before noon and we have to eat like this. And he also said, if you don't want, because until I eat, they will not serve, and you don't have to watch me. You can go into the next room. I said, no, I'll stay, because everybody was staying. So we all stayed there, and we just watched with folded hands, and then it was just amazing to watch that. And then he said, I'll come. I can't come he can't. They don't drive. They don't ride in the car. So from his ashram, he had to walk all the way to the conference site, which was about 4 miles. No chappals, nothing. So 4 miles, he said, I can only walk in the middle of the night so that I don't cause disturbance by, streaking through the streets. So therefore, I'm going to wake up at 3 and then get there. And he said, can you please get me a room in the hotel? I said, definitely. And then, he came, he sat, he talked. It was amazing. Amazing. And so like this, you cannot, unless one is a sannyasi, you cannot say, why to wash clothes? Boring, wash, wear tomorrow. Why? You can't give up clothes either. And then you can't give up eating, So therefore, you have to still continue doing all the things. But then, speaking of that same boredom, that feeling is one's own chitta ashuddhi. Ah, a tryst with samsara. That's what it is. Because samsara is addictive, It makes you want things in it, but then it makes you also not want things in it by making all these ragadveshas come to the fore. I don't want to participate. This is what is called ubhaya bhrashta. Okay, stop wearing clothes. No, how can I go out without clothes? Okay, then wash the clothes and iron them also. No, how can I iron them? I don't feel like ironing them. This is called neither here nor there. This is something which is very familiar because this is how one feels. Not quite ajnani, not quite ajnani. In between jnana and ajnana. In between mumuksha and jignasa. Jignasa means mumukshutvam in action of pursuing the study. Here, mumukshu all right, but not quite jignasu. So in this, in the middle, not quite able to commit to either shore. Either you remain an ajnani and be happy. Ignorance of ignorance is bliss. I notice I didn't say ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance of ignorance, wonderful. One is a pragyaha, prakarshena agyaha. But so you are not like that. And then what else? You are also not ajnani, not completely committed to the knowledge, what to do. And here it says, chitta shuddhaye karma kuru. Please understand that you cannot, just because you are a newly minted viveki, don't think that you can just go off on your merry way and diksha will magically appear. It will not. Yeah. It will not appear. Oh, I have to cook? Yes. Every day? Yes. So this is what the whole thing is. But I don't want to cook. Well, here is the catch. And this is how to convert what you don't want to do into what I really want to do. Because what do you really want? This knowledge. Correct? Say yes. Come on. Yeah. This is what. Otherwise, how will I know that you really want this knowledge? I'm putting words in the mouth. So what do you really want? I want this knowledge. Yes, definitely I want this knowledge. What do you not want? I don't want to do the usual things. Yeah. Well, here is the recipe. Do the usual things in an unusual way. Oh, how is that? Oh, this is what I wanted all my life. This is what is karma yoga. Oh, that. Karma yoga means doing the usual things in an unusual way. What is the usual way of doing the usual things? Cursing under the breath. That is the usual way. What is the unusual way of doing usual things? Praying under the breath. Ishvara buddhya swakarma kuru. Do everything as an offering to Bhagavan. So therefore, it supersedes and transcends your own ragadveshas. Bring Bhagavan there, make him sit down. Even though he says, I don't want to be witness to your brushing of the teeth. It is so boring. This is not my karma. Bhagavan is begging. No, you just tie him up and sit down here. Watch me put the toothpaste. Watch me address all the 4 quarters of the mouth thoroughly. And this is being done for you. But I want you to study Vedanta. I don't want you to brush teeth. Bhagavan is protesting. Make Bhagavan sit there and invoke Bhagavan. All the mundane actions. So mundane actions becomes unmundane because it becomes an act of prayer. Prayer is necessarily action. And so when you Ishvarize all actions, each action becomes an act of prayer. An act of prayer is not something you can say, I don't want to do. But it's true, I don't want to do an act of prayer. Well, you may not want to pray, but if I were to tell you, if you do something prayerfully, this knowledge comes very quickly. Now what is your attitude? Okay. All right. Because the knowledge is hinging upon Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi is hinging upon karma properly done, where you transcend all the Ragadveshas. Ragadveshas being transcended upon is hinging upon being, made to be a form of prayer. When you make Ragadveshas into a prayer, when you offer them up, then they don't bother you. And so that is the connection he's looking at in these three verses. Let us address them now. So, upasti is the word in the first line. First word is called upasti. Upasti means worship. So sa upasti means upasanaya saha vartate. So that which is along with the worship. So for that which is along with the worship, what? Karmana. So what is along with the worship? Action. So worshipful action. So upastinam karmana. Tu, whereas or indeed the consequence, phalam, the result, the fruits of worshipful action is chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi means freedom from ragadveshas, and as long as there are ragadveshas, no atma darshanam, no atma vidya, no enlightenment, so to speak, no change. So, therefore, Chitta Shuddhi is very important. Chitta Shuddhi means I get rid or learn to suspend the Ragadveshas and their influence upon myself. How are Ragadveshas connected to knowledge? They are not. That's the whole point. There is no connection. Therefore, they are best, managed, and then you go on, because as long as there are Ragadveshas there, you start arguing with the teaching, you start arguing with the teacher. This is what happens. The mind starts to argue with the teaching and the teacher, and one becomes forever offensive and defensive. Ninja student. Yeah. So ninja student is, no student at all. There is no student at all if there is a ninja student, because anything the teacher says is countered with something immediately. Like the ninja, again turtle, is throwing various astras and shastras in order to defend itself. So already as a samsari, one is a ninja, and so that ninja has to go because before this student, the student cannot be a ninja. As a samsari, one was a ninja. You can't bring the ninja hood into the teaching situation, and a ninja disciple, is not going to gain the knowledge, because all the time busy countering and arguing with the teacher all the time. And so such a person is not going to gain the knowledge, because the raga dveshas are high. Because one is more interested in defending oneself and looking a certain way and coming across, with the right foot forward, than one is interested. And he's going to point this very fact out later on the next page itself. Very brilliantly he points it out. Then one is interested in gaining the knowledge. So even though there is a strong mumukshutvam, the ragadvesha of wanting to be seen a certain way and wanting to be right all the time, puts a damper on the teachings. This is something to be guarded, and so therefore what? Chitta Shuddhi is important. So this is how one example of how the ragadvesha come in the way. Other ways in come in the way, I want to learn, but sleepy, want to sleep more than I want to learn. Yeah, I want to learn, but there is apathy. Apathy means no Ganapati, and so some obstacle. Apathy means what? Hopeless. How will I learn? So how many people are studying? How many people really get moksha? Come on, be real. And so therefore one tunes out in the class. So these are all the ways in which ragadveshas are active in the teaching situation. And so they have to be, put in line like the flock of sheep, And so, therefore, the karma helps to put them in line, because there is nothing. The antidote to ragadvesha is karma worshipfully done. Because when you force yourself to do what you don't have to do, the ragadveshas go away. Yeah. That's why, in the Vaidika's life, in the Veda, a person who is following the Vedas, from morning to night they are kept busy. From one yajna you go to another. One yajna itself, you know how long it takes to prepare, you know how much it takes to do, and then on top of that, what? After you finish what? Next yajna. After that, another yajna. So the yajna becomes a metaphor of giving and contributing to the world, because the more you give prayerfully, the more you get back in terms of that which cannot be quantified, in terms of shanti and all these other preparations for knowledge. So that is the first one. So sopastinam karmanam tu chitta shuddhihi phalam matam. Matam means it is well known. Vedana ichha, the desire to know, jignasa here, or vedanam va, the desire for knowledge, or the knowledge itself, is what? Is the result, gatihi, of sat karmanam, of worshipful action. So the translation I'm changing a little bit here. Not that the translation is wrong, I'm just adding to it. So I'm looking at it slightly differently. And so, Vedana ichha athava vedanam. So either the knowledge itself, or Vedana ichha, or the desire to know. Both of them what? They are both the, both the consequences of good karma well done. So karma well done leads to knowledge. O ye Vedantins who don't believe in action. This is what he is trying to say. Oh, you Vedantins who don't believe in action, Chitra. Chitra means, look at this miracle. Look at this sight of karma. Look at this sleight of hand of karma, that look at this paradox of karma, that in order to understand that you are free of action, that understanding that you are free of action comes through actions properly done. This is what is being said. Vedantaihi api, next one, the two go together. So the next one, even in Vedanta Shastra, what is there? Jignasoho, for the Jignasu, tasmat, therefore, tasmat Vedantaihi api Jignasoho karma urari kritam. So in Vedanta also, therefore, what, for the Jignasu, for the one desirous of knowledge, karma urari kritam. Urari kritam means a sealed promise. So karma has signed, sealed and delivered promise is the connection of karma for Vedanta Shastra. In Vedanta Shastra, it is well known what the role of action in discovering the self as a non-actor is very, very well known. How? Urari kritam, well known. How? And then it says that how do we gain this? Because the action is mandated. How is the action mandated? The action is mandated for discovering Shraddha. So the first step is, gaining all the means for moksha, which is what? Shraddha. First you gain Shraddha, and then Chittasya Shanti, peace of mind. Dantihi. Dantihi means not cuffing somebody when you feel like it, not saying something bad just because you feel like it. Dantihi uparama. Uparamaha means the, giving up of all kinds of things. Giving up of. Uparama is like a baby sannyasa that one takes as one becomes a Vedantin. Because simple fact, you're attending the class and the weather is nice outside, that means you're not outside. You are in here, so you've already given up the chance to go do something somewhere else, and that giving up is itself the gain of so many things, so many qualifications. jigyasa, and chitta shuddhi, chitta shanti, uparama. All this, that is uparama. That's an example of uparama. Mumuksha, and then sadhananam hi. So all these sadhanas, these means for gaining this knowledge or gaining liberation. Sampat prathama bhumika. So the first step, prathama bhumika, means the first steps are all these things. And all these things cannot be gained without action. Peace of mind is action worshipfully done. When the raga dveshas sit down and have a cup of tea with themselves. And then dantihi. And dantihi is another side of shantihi. Shama, shanti, resolved mind. And then damaha, dantihi. Another way of saying dama is dantihi. Dantihi means the the restfulness of the organs of action, starting with the tongue. Yeah, starting with the tongue. And the tongue that chides, the tongue that argues, the tongue that vilifies, all that. This tongue is held in check. Much easier not to cuff somebody physically, but much harder to not cuff them verbally. So that's why the tongue is also an organ of action. And then, sadhananam hi, sampat. Sampat means these are the treasures that are gained from actions properly done. When the raga dveshas subside, these treasures come out, and the raga dveshas subside only when action is prayerfully done. Okay, next. Okay. Guru pasadanam purvam.
Guru pasadanam purvam.
Kartavyam hi mumukshuna.
Kartavyam hi mumukshuna.
Gurumevabhigacchecha.
Gurumevabhigacchecha.
Vijnanarthamiti shrutihi.
Vijnanarthamiti shrutihi.
Yeah, so then, hopefully, after one is endowed with all these things, which we have talked about, Shamadama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, Viveka, which was talked about, Vairagya, which was included, indirectly talked about, Mumukshutvam, and I'm not going through all these because we are experts, right? We know the ABC of Vedanta, and we know what these things are. That's why I just went through them very quickly. And so, having gained all this, what to do? Approach a guru. Guru upasadanam purvam. Purvam means before doing anything else, before ordering books on Vedanta online, approach a teacher. And then what? Kartavyam. Kartavyam means it is your duty. If you are serious about this knowledge, it is your duty to approach the teacher who, by the mumukshu. By the mumukshu, the teacher is approached as a first order of duty. Upasadanam, sadanam, sitting, upa, near. So go sit near the teacher. How? Respectfully, according to the norms. What are the norms? You go do namaskara. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Please gain this knowledge, says the Bhagavad Gita, pranipata, through namaskara, pariprashna, through asking the proper kinds of questions. And that's going to also be talked about in this section, in the next section later. And through seva, through service. So upasadanam, approach of the teacher, includes these things. Includes namaskara. Namaskara, why? Because, one bends. Mentally, one bends. When that bending is enacted physically, mentally one bends. Yeah. That's the hope. And so, then what? Pariprashna, asking questions, but respectfully, just like Arjuna asks in the Bhagavad Gita, respectfully. And then through seva, through service. Service seva is another way where the raga dveshas sit down. So everybody should do some kind of volunteer work, because through that the raga dveshas keep quiet. It's a very good boost for self-growth and spiritual growth. You go volunteer the time when you don't have to. And when I do something that I don't have to, the things I have to do become easier. It's a really nice thing. And then through all this, You approach the Guru with the right attitude and the right way prescribed in the Upanishad itself. Which Upanishad? Mundaka Upanishad. And this is the next line from the Mundaka Upanishad, where he says, Guru Meva Abhigachet. Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan Nirveda Mayat. When the person has examined all the fields of action and understood that there is nothing here, and then, Nirveda means a disenchantment has come, and Mumuksha has come, Jignasa has come, and then in order to do this study, please approach a teacher. This is Vijnanartham iti Shrutihi. So Mundaka Shruti is quoted. So this is the beginning of the section, which is the kernel of it is here. Now next one, which is called Tat Lakshanani. Tat Lakshanani means, Lakshana here means the characteristics of a mumukshu. In case you're wondering, even after so many years of studying, how do I know I'm a mumukshu? How do I recognize myself as a mumukshu? Sometimes there are all these things. You know you are this when ... you have this. It's like that. So if you already know you are a mumukshu, it's a very nice affirmation, reaffirmation of one's connection with the teaching, the teacher, the knowledge, shastra, everything. And you're on the right track. And there's nothing as soothing to the heart than knowing I'm doing the right thing. Okay? And if you don't know you're a mumukshu, this is the checklist. Wow. So these become sadhanas, these become ways of minting yourself, branding yourself as a mumukshu. Okay? So either way, one is benefited by this section called Mumukshu Lakshanani. Tat here stands for mumukshu. So mumukshu, mumuksha. So mumukshu Lakshana is the next section. The characteristics of mumuksha. How does one know that one is a mumukshu? So this is the, So how does one know? What are the characteristics? The first one is given very beautifully. Moksha eva mamastvesha.
Moksha eva mamastvesha.
Mastu samsara darshanam.
Mastu samsara darshanam.
Iti yas sudridho bhavaha.
Iti yas sudridho bhavaha.
Mumuksha lakshanam hitat.
Mumuksha lakshanam hitat.
Moksha eva mamastvesha.
Moksha eva mamastvesha.
Mastu samsara darshanam.
Mastu samsara darshanam.
Iti yas sudridho bhavaha.
Iti yas sudridho bhavaha.
Mumuksha lakshanam hitat.
Mumuksha lakshanam hitat.
Okay, so this is a checklist for everyone. So see if you can recognize yourself in the first characteristics of moksha given by Narahari ji here. And so what is the first characteristics of moksha is in the form of prayer when you are in front of your altar. And what is the prayer? The prayer here is short and sweet. Moksha eva mamastu he Isha. Astu he Isha. Oh Lord, moksha eva, only moksha, mama astu. May only moksha be there for me. This is the prayer at the altar. And then, okay, this is what I want, correct? What I want is closely connected with what I don't want, right? So what do I want? Moksha. What do I not want? Samsara. Correct? And so, ma astu, may there not be for me. What? Samsara darshanam. Give me darshanam of you. As me, don't give me darshanam of samsara. Samsara darshanam, ghoram. Actually ghoram. So, samsara darshanam ghoram. Isha darshanam aghoram. So, samsara darshana means the sight of samsara is ghora. Ghora means what? Terrifying. The thought of samsara, terrifying. And if samsara is not terrifying a thought for you, please see me after this class. I will make it terrifying. So, I will make sure that you are terrified. You go home shivering, okay? Not out of the cold. So, samsara darshanam, ghoram. I'm just talking in Sanskrit. Don't look for the word ghoram here. It's my own addition. Ghora means terrifying. And so, if samsara is terrifying, moksha is soothing to look at, correct? Moksha means myself as Bhagavan. So, everyone wants Ishvara darshanam. And so, you pray to Ishvara, give me Ishvara darshanam as myself, as you. Don't give me samsara darshanam. Let me have 100 lives, but even in those 100 lives, let me have your darshan. Let me always be one with this knowledge. Let me always be in a situation where the tongue prays for this knowledge. Okay, so that is the first, and then he goes on to say, so that is the first line. Second line, he goes on to say, iti, in this manner, yaha, for the one, Sudridaha bhavaha. So this one is unshakable. Sudridaha, dridaha, unshakable. Sudridaha, extremely unshakable. Completely certain in this prayer and in this want and in the don't want. So this person, the jignasu here, the mumukshu, already also has raga dveshas. What is the dvesha? For samsara. What is the raga? For self-knowledge. Okay? And then sudridaha means unshakably certain, completely certain that this is what one wants of Bhagavan. One does not want all the time-bound gains, including health, wealth, loved ones, this, that, small things. Let me have a good day, as though the day is bad. Yeah. How is the day? Because when I first came to this country, we have a good day. I never understood. It took me a long time to understand because that's not our vritti. We were not in India raised to have a good day or a bad day. Because you were not. Imagine, no Indian, regardless of whether they are Christians or Muslims or Hindus, nobody will greet each other, have a good day. It's not, because the day is what it is. You make it good or bad. Yeah. The day is what it is. At best, it is chaotic. Have a good day means as though you have a control over the day. You don't really. So have a good day here means accept what comes. That is what the whole thing is. So here, the mumukshu's prayer is not for a good day, is not for getting through the day, is not for give me this, give me that. Let everybody be all right and then I will focus on moksha. No. Let me gain a few things in samsara. Give me a good retirement so that I can attend classes. That's not the prayer of the mumukshu. The prayer of the mumukshu is, oh Lord, I only want to know you as myself. Who are you? Who am I? Give me you. Don't give me darshan. Darshan means the holy vision. Don't give me the holy vision of unholy, full of holes, samsara. Yes. Give me only you. Iti yaha, sudridaha matihi. What does it say? Sudridaha bhavaha. So this kind of matihi, this kind of mindset, this bhava mindset, this kind of mindset which is very fully convinced that this is the only prayer. What is the prayer? Give me you, don't give me samsara. Oh Lord, the one who is convinced of this prayer and prays this way, mumuksha lakshanam. So that is the first lakshana of mumuksha. Now I'm asking something that I shouldn't. Yeah. Check or no check? Check or no check? Check. Even if you haven't checked it, now you check it. Today you can check it. Today you can say, okay, from today, let my prayer be this way. Because if you say no check, it is still a check. Why? Because it is teaching us how to pray. Before one was preying upon all the things in samsara. Now one is praying to be freed of samsara. Okay? So this is the first lakshana that he discusses for the mumukshu. Yeah. So then, what else? Punyakshetreshu ya buddhihi.
Punyakshetreshu ya buddhihi.
Punyatirtheshu ya ruchihi.
Punyatirtheshu ya ruchihi.
Mokshadharmeshu ya shraddha.
Mokshadharmeshu ya shraddha.
Mumuksha lakshanam hitat.
Mumuksha lakshanam hitat.
Yeah. So buddhi, ya buddhihi, that mindset, which is what? Punyakshetreshu, punyatirtheshu, ruchihi. So the mindset and the desires are all for what? Holy places. So the whole life is, if you are given a choice between a holiday and a pilgrimage, most people will choose holiday, correct? But the mumukshu will choose pilgrimage. Why? More altars to go and pray the above prayer that we just discussed. More altars. So you will choose. Then supposing if you get all Vedantin and say, even in the holiday, even in the trees, I see Bhagavan, even in the ocean, I see Bhagavan, even in the sea and the mountains, and eating a 5-star dinner in the 5-star hotel, I see Bhagavan. We are not talking of that person. We are talking of the person who is still striving and wanting mumukshu, the one who is a newly minted mumukshu jignasu, the turtle that has come out of the turbulent waters. We are talking of that person. And so for that person, when the wanderlust, see, the wanderlust is very difficult to go. That's why everyone's blogs, everyone reads, because they're very popular. You get a vicarious satisfaction of someone who has gone somewhere, because you know you will never go there. So you read about them instead. Yeah. Why you won't go there? Because Lakshmi has not blessed you that much. Which Lakshmi? Goddess Lakshmi. Yeah, so therefore you will not go to all these exotic places. So what do? You search out the blogs and read. That's why travel in the olden days when they used to print these glossy travel brochures, they were very people used to go sometimes. I know this elderly gentleman, he's no more now, but he used to go, his entertainment was to go to the shop, travel agent, and then get all the brochures, come back and read. He never booked a ticket in his life because he didn't have the money. Some retired service person, where will he have the money to go to all these exotic, Budapest? I remember because in his house, this Budapest brochure was there. What all you can do in Budapest, what all you can do here, what all you can go Eastern Europe tour, and you can go here, and what can you do in Poland, and he had this whole brochure. And then all these, things. Russia, another brochure. Because he knew he would never go there, but he loved to spend his days looking and reading what all is there. And he was a bakka vegetarian, but he loved reading about all the crabs and the, monkey flesh, horse flesh, crab flesh, everything that fried cockroaches, anything that anybody could eat, he would read. This is called a vicarious living. And who doesn't know the joys of vicarious living? Because you can't really do all these things. So thankfully, Bhagavan has given a mind. The mind can go anywhere. And then you can imagine things. And this man was so ingenious, without spending a penny, he went everywhere. Yeah. His whole house was travel brochures, because he would tell the travel agent, I'm planning a trip to Europe. And it was not be wrong. I'm thinking about going to Europe. And definitely he was thinking about it. And so in those days, this was in the 80s and 90s, they would give all these brochures. Now those days are gone. Nobody prints brochures because everything is available on the click of a finger. Google is your brochure. Valley of Flowers. South of France. Look at this. Something somewhere. Even Iceland starts to look good. Yeah, because there are some caves and none of the names you can pronounce in Iceland. What is the capital? Don't ask the spelling. And even the spelling I may be able to accomplish. Don't ask the pronunciation. It's something that starts with R. That's all you know. This is how it is. How do you pronounce? You don't know. But the desire to go there nonetheless is there. So one becomes a vicarious, what is that, tourist of samsaric places. And, and so from that, what do you get? A big headache and a big hole in the pocket. When you go, and not from reading the blogs, but when you go to all these places, you get a big hole in the pocket. You spent a lot of money, and then after that, you find that one mountain sadly is like another mountain. Yeah, one ocean sadly is like another ocean. One set of people and one kind of folk dance, folk culture is sadly like another folk dance, folk culture. And food is also not all that different. You have protein, you have carbohydrate, you have fruits and vegetables, and it's the same thing. It's the combination changes. Yeah. Some proteins, are harvested from the ground, and others run away while in the process of harvesting. Others have legs that run away. Yeah. Some forms of protein. That's all it is. So there is really, at the end of it, you find that this wanderlust is really a lust for oneself, really. Is a lust for the non-wandering I, which is expressed as wanderlust. And that's why people have bucket list. Ye dekh liya, ye baki hai. You check off. And you say, okay, I have seen this, but I have not seen that, and I have not seen this, and I have seen that. And so they have a bucket list. Before I die, I want to see this, this, this. I want to accomplish all these experiences. This is all experiential, So it is very difficult for this person who likes going places to say, stop going to places. Not possible. You stop that person and say, why should I stop? And if the other person says, I have already stopped, they say, yeah, now I know why you have such a boring life. I enjoy my life. I like to go places. And so, how does one define oneself as a mumukshu while still having or retaining some wanderlust? You channel the wanderlust into temple trips. And not just, in India it's easy because every stone's throw there is a temple, whether you want it or not. Even they plan an elaborate pilgrimage, on the way they see 4 or 5 unplanned shrines. This is what happens. Somebody will tell, oh, you're going here, but you're not going there, you should go there. All right, how far is it? Oh, only 25 kilometers. 25 kilometers on Indian road is equal to 25 physiotherapy sessions. Yeah, translates afterwards. Then 25 appointments with a chiropractor. One for each kilometer. So, it's not small. 25 kilometers can take up to 45 minutes each way. But still the person will go because it's so close. So like this, here, where the wanderlust is channeled into a pilgrimage. And in India, it's very effortless. But even, in Europe, you can do that. The Catholics go on a wonderful pilgrimage. A kind of a walking tour in Spain. What is that called? Yeah. What is that called? Yeah, that's all I remember. Camino. Yes, walking the Camino. It's a walking Padayatra. Yes. And here, we think, that we are the famous Padayatris. We are the ones who rolled our body to the temple, who walk to the temple, but they also walk. It's a pilgrimage. They go from holy place to holy place, all walking. And all this walking is wearing off karma. They may not say that in Catholicism, but in a certain way, that's what is happening. It's wearing off all the karma. All the desires are gone. Because you're tired of, after walking 25, miles in one day, all you can do is sleep. You can't think of how to get rid of a person, in my life. That's not the main thing. So, become a mumukshu. How? By channeling the wanderlust into a pilgrimage. The wanderlust is really a restlessness for action. So, spiritualize the action by making everything a tirtha yatra. So, that is the gist of the next verse. What is the next verse? Punya kshetreshu ya buddhihi. So, the buddhi is only towards visiting holy places. Punya tirtheshu ya ruchihi. And all the raga dveshas are towards only holy places and shrines, and holy rivers, holy places, all these things. And moksha dharmeshu ya shraddha. And the shraddha is only for gaining the characteristics, for leading, a life that is a mumukshu. Mumuksha lakshanam hi tat. Mumuksha lakshanam means this is the second characteristics of gaining the status called mumukshutvam. Ready for number 3?
Yes.
Okay. यतः कुतश्चिदानीय ज्ञानशास्त्राण्यवेक्षते चिन्तयंस्तस्य तात्पर्यम् मुमुक्षालक्षणं हि तत्. Pretty soon what happens is that shanai, slowly, and pretty soon means generally speaking, what happens as a result of being a mumukshu, the desire changes from browsing various websites and from browsing so many things, reading so many things, becoming a newsaholic, and all these things, to looking deeper into the meaning of the Upanishads and of Vedanta. So you suddenly find yourself browsing sanskritdocuments.org from some other thing, CNN.com. So from CNN.com or nytimes.com, newyorktimes.com, you go to what? sanskritdocuments.org. Oh, but I don't know Sanskrit. Doesn't matter because there'll be something in English. You can see, you can look at. Or you go and look at Chandogya Upanishad English. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad English. You want to see, and you have been studying, or you have started to study, and you want to know more for yourself. You want to look into these texts and what might they be saying, because you can't wait till the next class. You're going to read ahead and you're going to try to find out what it means. And so this desire that is transformed from, and if the second verse was the whole wanderlust being transformed into punya kshetra, into pilgrimage, here the wandering from place to place in the mind, the search for things is transformed into the search engine called the mind, is focused on Upanishads and Vedanta and understanding the meanings of it. So before one was in some chat room and now one is belonging to a Vedanta blog. One subscribes and one chats with others about the meaning of a sentence. And then you are a mumukshu. You may still read New York Times, no problem. But that desire was not there as before. Now it's just a cursory glance, and then your desire has transformed. Then you are a mumukshu. And then what? Next one. Mahatapi prayatnena.
Mahatapi prayatnena.
Mahatapi prayatnena.
Mahatapi prayatnena.
Kuryat pandita sangatim.
Kuryat pandita sangatim.
Sanstapayitva murdhanam.
Samstapayitva murdhanam.
Tesham charana pankaje.
Tesham charana pankaje.
Prashnan manogatan prichet.
Prashnan manogatan prichet.
Swajnanam cha prakashayet.
Svanyanam cha prakashayet.
Teshamuttara-vakyanam.
Teshamuttara-vakyanam.
Not vakyanam. Teshamuttara-vakyanam.
Teshamuttara-vakyanam.
Tatparyam hridi bhavayet.
Tatparyam vriti bhavayet.
Mahatapi prayatnena. After a lot of effort. Even after a lot of effort, meaning after putting a lot of effort, kuryat means may one have, may one do, may one accomplish pandita samratim, the oneness or the companionship with the wise. So go to great lengths. Sometimes people do this. Drive to great lengths to see a Mahapurusha, to see a Guru. And then spend time in that person's company. And spend time means what? Hang out, have chai, and the person is famous, so hang out with the famous and have a selfie. No. Selfie with Pandit. No. That's not why you drive all the way, go out of the way to seek the companionship of the wise. Why do you go all the way? Because you respect that knowledge and you want to gain that knowledge. You go do that, you go see the Guru, and then samsthapayitva. How do you go see the Guru? Samsthapayitva, having placed murdhanam, the head, tesham, at the charana pankaje, having placed your head at the feet of these pandits of the Guru here. So seek the Guru by traveling far and wide. Instead of saying what? Oh, too far, not going. Where do you live? 15 minutes away, but still too far. Can't come, But here, the person goes all the way. This was written in ancient times. So even by foot, going all the way, when you find out that this Guru is visiting, go all the way, and then you start off on the right foot or on the right feet by placing your head on the feet. This shows a humility. This is very, very important. Without humility, there is no knowledge. And this is a very brilliant 2 verses. So the first one just shows the how-tos. How-to means how to approach the teacher. By placing the head on the feet of the teacher. And why? Because it's not that the teacher is wanting you to surrender. In fact, the teacher is one who doesn't want that surrender, doesn't need that surrender. And that becomes a safe altar of surrender, the one who doesn't force you to surrender. This is very important. So the surrender here is gladly given. The surrender is not to the personality of the teacher, but the person that the teacher represents, which is really you, which is Bhagavan, which is the Lord. The surrender is not to the personality, but to what the teacher represents, which is the knowledge, the Shastra. So surrendering to the Shastra via the teacher, find out the teacher and go to great lengths and great efforts to go meet the teacher and start on the right foot by putting your head on that foot. This is what is advertised or advised. And then what? Why should I do this? Then he is recounting the 34th verse of the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which I had just summarized earlier. So, prashnan manogatan prichet. Manogatan, go in the mind, sitting in the mind. Prashnan, the questions that are sitting in the mind, prichet. Please ask don't just sit there gazing at the Guru. Yeah. Guru gazing. Yeah. That's not the point. Sometimes people do that. Sometimes people go all the way and just sit and look at the Guru. I just want to sit and look. Lookne se kya hoga? What will happen? You know? Yeah, if you look, nothing will happen. You have to ask questions because what's the whole point is to clear your doubts. And doubts there are many, so ask the questions. And here is where Narahari excels, you know, by exemplifying this verse from the Bhagavad Gita very beautifully. He says, Swajnanam cha prakashayet. Prakashayet, advertise, put it on display. What to put on display? Swa, one's own, what? Ajnanam, broadcast your ignorance by asking in the form of those questions. Unashamedly broadcast your ignorance. Oh, this is why should I broadcast my ignorance? This is the whole point. The ahankara wants to show off. And sometimes this is there. I used to go with Puja Swamiji to so many public talks. And then, you know, after the talk, the person would just sort of keep on talking. You know, sometimes they would ask a question from the audience and that fellow was given the mic also. Bad idea. But then, you know, he just, you catch the mic. He would catch the mic and keep on talking. And then Swamiji would say, is there a question? What is your question? Get to the question. There would not be any question. They would just be, as I know from the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, what I have studied, Arjuna says this, Arjuna says that, Arjuna does this. And then it was all just a comment or a broadcasting of his or her own knowledge. This is called countering the Guru, not encountering the Guru. Yeah, so when you broadcast your own knowledge, then why will the teacher answer? There is nothing to answer. The teacher will not take you seriously. And one time it was so bad, this man was keeping on talking. And I was sitting, this was in outdoor talk in Pondicherry, I still remember. I was sitting just because there was no stage, nothing. It was just in a park in the grass. And Puja Swamiji was talking, I was just sitting there. And then this man would not stop talking. And then Puja Swamiji said to me, you know, please tell him to stop talking. As though I can do anything. He's not listening to Puja Swamiji, you know. But the man got it. Then he stopped. Oh, okay, he stopped. He was, you know, inimitable. He had his own ways. And you don't know what the question is. You're keeping on taking the person seriously. You just keep, and he was at the edge of his seat, listening, trying to understand what is this man's question. There was no question. So that is one kind of non-mumukshu. And then another kind is they want to show off their knowledge in a different way. So they look around for effect, meaning, please notice me. This is the mic, okay? I'm asking a very important question. So first, before asking the question, they will look around the audience, stare at the Guru, and then they will say, if I am Brahman, and they look around again for effect, then why should I go to temple? And they look around, as though they've asked a huge question, you know. Again, that question is also not worthy of an answer because they're not interested in the answer. Through the question, they have shown off what they think they know and they have countered the Guru. This is not Guru encounter, this is Guru countering. Waste of time. Why did you drive all the way to go there? Only to ask this kind of a useless question. Because useless because in the sense of, you know, what is accomplished by it? Nothing. Why should I pray? Do you really want to know why you should pray and go to the temple? Because if somebody really, it is possible to have that question. Sometimes teenagers have that question, mumukshus have that question. But it is asked differently. You know, hey Guru, I'm confused. Well, you know, if I'm Brahman, then what is the purpose of the temple? They will not ask like this. There is no simplicity there. There is a complex web of protections. Complex web of protections. They are more interested in how they are seen rather than being seen. Unless you are seen, you will not be able to gain this knowledge. You have to be seen. And that is why we have a beautiful story in the Bhagavata Purana. You know, all the gopis went into this area where only the women bathe. And they put all their saris, ghagras, and everything, upper cloths, everything. Because they said, this is only, nobody else will come. And they frolicked, threw water on each other. They had a good time. Some washed their hair, some washed their clothes, some played with each other, some had to also fill up water for the house. They did that. And as they were coming to the shore, they just looked on the, they didn't even come to the shore. They looked because they had one, like a towel or something, they have to wrap and then come to the shore. The towel itself is missing. Ayyo, on this stone I had kept the clothes. Clothes are all missing. Where are our clothes? Oh my God, what happened to our clothes? Yoo-hoo, over here, said a voice up in the tree. And Lord Krishna brandishing all their clothes. The clothes are all hung beautifully on the branches and of this tree. Gopis say, we want the clothes. Krishna says, come and get it. How can we come like this? We are unclothed. And then the Western academicians, they have a ball with these kinds of stories. They're waiting for these stories. Then what do they say? Krishna has an insatiable appetite. Oh my God. Sexual harassment. This is what is in the news these days. Yeah, it's so boring to open the news because every time something or the other. This is all that's being talked about. No other news. So Krishna is the quintessential sexual harasser in history. This is not how to look at this. Krishna means Karshati, the one who pulls, the one who attracts, the one who draws. Who draws? Who pulls? Bhagavan, your own truth of your own nature. In order to greet that, in order to meet that, you have to be unclothed, disrobed. Disrobed of all notions, disrobed of all kinds of protective locks and mechanisms in which this jiva lives in order to accomplish something. Still a ninja. So therefore, it's a very beautiful verse. I like this verse a lot. It says, Swajnanam cha prakashayet. Broadcast your ignorance so that you may be filled with the antidote of that ignorance. So that it may be removed. Because if you already pretend to know, then why will the Guru come to your aid? And that pretense takes on many, many posturings. I have already explained a few. It's like, praying. Somebody asked, can I use the prayer Soham? Can this be a mantra, Soham, instead of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Namah Shivaya? These are all prayers, correct? Mental prayers. Why can't I just chant Soham, Soham, Soham? Why can't that be a mantra? You can chant Soham, no problem. It's better than Hoham, okay? Which is what life is. But if you keep chanting Soham, Bhagavan, Soham means what? I am that. Saham, I am he, I am she, I am that Bhagavan. So you are telling Bhagavan, it's not a prayer. It's a nididhyasana, it's a contemplation. It's not a prayer. So for prayer, if you chant Soham, what will happen? Nothing will happen because Bhagavan will say, okay, this person knows and goes to the next person. Similarly, if you tell the Guru, I know everything and I am this and I am that, Guru will say, "Theek hai, you already know, why should I, attend to you?" Remember, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And so you have to broadcast the ajnanam without pride, without shame, without worrying about how I'm going to be seen. No, but other people will laugh. Let them laugh. What if the Guru laughs? Yeah, give the Guru a break. Let the Guru have a laugh. Let the Guru laugh. Generally Guru won't laugh, but supposing if the Guru cannot help himself or herself and bursts out laughing when you ask the question, so be it. You gain punya because you gave the Guru a good time. Yeah. You entertained the Guru. Through what? Ajnanam. It's okay. So, Swajnanam cha prakashayet. So take every opportunity to declare the ignorance by examining the crevices of the mind where that attempt to hide the ignorance and to give a different kind of a posturing is always the tendency. Examine that tendency, and when you learn to stand bare, bereft and vulnerable in front of the Guru, then only mumukshutvam starts. Then only the knowledge starts. Until then, you are just engaging in a heady way. It's not engaging with the heart. Yeah. So if the knowledge has to touch the heart, if it has to percolate and coat the heart completely, for that, there has to be no posturing at all. Very beautifully said. Prakashayet cha swajnanam. Usually what prakashayet? Swajnanam prakashayet usually. The person is broadcasting how much they know, how much they have studied, how much they have learned, how good they are, how they have shama, dhamma, titiksha, uparati, shraddha, samadhanam, all in one. This is what one wants to look like a good student in front of the teacher. Here, one is told to just be oneself and show, be ready to show what all is lacking. It's okay. Even if the Guru makes fun, or if the Guru chides and say, how come you haven't gained Dhamma? It's okay. Take it, because that is where the whole thing is. That is where I have to grow. Take it. And I would always say this, and with Pujya Swamiji, he would rarely tell anything in private to a person. It would always be in public. It would just be in public. And, one would be always, sometimes if that chiding was there, it was happening, and you could see that something is amiss and he has to bring a few people to the right path properly, he would do it in public. He would name the names also in public. Why? Because of this, what is said here. So that whoever is hiding behind, there's no way to hide. That person is pulled up in the public. And the ahankara takes a nice beating, and then the person is available for the knowledge. So that is what the whole thing is to be gained from this. Very, very nice and very important for the pursuit, for the knowledge to go deeper. Tesham, and then swajnanam cha prakashayet. Tesham uttaravakyana. Uttaravakya means when the tatparyam means the message or the summary or the purport of what? Uttaravakyanam. Whatever they have said in response to your question, hridi bhavayet, take it to heart. So don't ask for something and then gaining the answer, argue with the answer. No. That's the tendency. No, I didn't want to be told that. I wanted to be told this. Go to someone else then. So, Uttaravakyanam. So, first thing is, don't be afraid to broadcast your ignorance, because until such time that the ignorance is, is unprotected, the knowledge will not take place. So, don't be afraid to broadcast your ignorance in asking the questions. And when you receive the responses, what? Take it to heart. Take it. Take it as prasada. So don't see it as yet one more way to defend oneself. Because that's the tendency. And that tendency comes from the unconscious, of course, because that's where the vulnerability is. So overriding that tendency is to take whatever comes, instead of needing to set the equation right, to set everything right and to say, no, that's not how it is, this is how it is, this is what it is. Guru loses interest. Yeah. So if you want to make a guru bore, even if that's possible, these are the kinds of occupations. Right? And this is when Pujya Swamiji would pick up the paper and ignore the person. Yeah. When the person started to give so many excuses and say, no, that's not what I did, and this is how it was, and this is what it was perceived, and I'm always blamed, and this is what is happening, I didn't do that, and I didn't. He would just stop talking pick up his coffee in one hand and one book in the other, and I'm the person who just be keeping on talking and then go away. This is what it is. So, Tesham Uttaravakkyanam Hridhi Bhavayet. Take it to heart. Don't immediately jump and try to say something. Let it percolate in the heart. See the truth of it. No, that is not true. It's not true. Doesn't matter. Take it. Even if it's not true, your reaction there is something there in your reaction. If it's not true, then you would be just calm and say, okay, it doesn't apply to me. But if you're having such a reaction, there is something there. Take it. So, this is how to grow into becoming a mumukshu. And then it will help if the book is right side up. Yeah, so the next one we'll do next time, which is when? In December 9th, I think. December 9th is the is next Bodhasara. So we will pick it up from verse number 26. Okay? Yeah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedvavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Any questions? After this, there will be no question. Because we stopped on the question of broadcasting one's ignorance. Ayyo Rama.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm curious, when you were talking about with that kind of karma yoga piece and talking about that which brings shanti,
Yeah.
you spoke about shanti
Yeah.
and the idea of the taking a break on the 5 organs of action.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
just giving them a rest.
Yes, give a rest.
Starting with the tongue.
Yes.
Is there anything more you can say about how that, I'm just curious about that place right there.
How Dhamma helps Mumuksha?
In that place of the organs of actions having a rest.
Yeah, rest means non-reactivity. Yeah. Because the organs of actions are quick to lash out. Quick to lash out. If somebody hits you, you feel like hitting them back. Sometimes you feel like hitting them even when they don't hit you. Thankfully, in most situations, it's just a feeling. Why? Because everybody has some Dhamma. So then you say it's not such a good idea, either spiritually or legally. Correct? Yeah, depending on where the person's level is. Yeah, you feel like hitting somebody many times. And that's why there is such thing called road rage. You don't even know the person. The person just cuts off and what they did is wrong. Okay, big deal. If they did something wrong, why are you worried? Oh, I was almost in an accident. Almost is the operative word here. You're not in an accident. You're talking. You're raving about it. Yeah, so that means that you are fine. So instead of thanking Bhagavan and say, oh, that was a near miss with a maniac. Thank you, oh Lord. You are ready to go out of the way to cut them off again. And you don't do that because you say, okay, this is not such a good idea because that person weighs 200 pounds and you don't. You see? So this is one way of Dhamma, correct? This is one thing. And when that is taken to a complete fruition in terms of doing this for self growth. So you may in the beginning the person may say legally this is not a good idea, strength wise this is not a good idea because the person weighs too much and I am just a little shrimp compared to that person, so I'm not going to engage with that person. Or one may say legally this is not a good idea because I'll be arrested, right? These are the initial things. But the mumukshu says spiritually this is not a good idea because unless I develop this restraint over my organs of action, the knowledge will not bless. Because the restraint over organs of action means a certain discipline. And that discipline is ready for the knowledge even to sit in class. I want to sit in class, but the sense organs saw something outside and want to chase that. Then, even if it's a butterfly. So, what to do? So, I have to be able to master that And it's a certain kind of a self-mastery before recognizing yourself as the master of the universe. Clear? Yeah. Any other questions?
But ahimsa is also removed.
Yes. Yeah. Ahimsa is also ahimsa paramo dharma. Based on ahimsa, all these things are given. Yeah. Okay. 4 o'clock. Oh. 4 or 4:30? 4. Okay. Yeah, 4 to 5:30. We'll finish. I mean, even